We're close to the center of the fault in activity. When the flicker starts up again, the exact source should register here.
Good. Then all the bleeping can stop and we can do something interesting. When do I get to meet some monsters?
Never, hopefully.
You may have spoken too soon. A couple of giant tortoises over there. Still, maybe they're friendly.
Chelonians!
Not friendly.
When you've been a soldier as long as I have, you can smell parasites from the other side of the black hole. Forward! We shall crush the spineless fleshies in our mighty claws.
Oh, you're Sheldukher. My mother used to say you had scaly green skin and terrible halitosis.
Really? It seems the reports of my breath have been greatly exaggerated.
Second pilot, report the success of your attack immediately.
Shell, what's
The
happening?
psychic shock of contact with me incapacitated the subject's physical body. The mind has now shielded itself.
Then break through the shield.
I will try, but it is strong.
I must know. The highest science. Ask it about the highest science.
Wouldn't it be best to leave well alone? Mighty civilization, brought down by terrible discovery. I know there are loads of versions of the Sakrat myth, but that's a common factor in all of them, so maybe just forgetting about the higher science would be a good idea?
I'm afraid I can't just ignore a Fortean flicker.
I suppose not. Although sometimes, Doctor, I wish you wouldn't treat the universe like it was your own personal responsibility.
Hi everyone, TardisGuy123 here, and today I'm going to be doing another Big Finish review, this time looking at the highest science, starring Sylvester McCoy and Lisa Bowerman as the 7th Doctor and Bernie Summerfield. Now this is a novel adaptation, the second novel adaptation Big Finish have done, the first being Love and War, which also featured the 7th Doctor and Bernice, but also had Ace in it. This time Ace is out of the fold, and it's just these two. The original novel was written by Gareth Roberts, who and this is actually his first professional work, and he later went on to do quite a few more, finally winding up on the new series writing such stories as The Caretaker most recently, actually. So yeah, and it's adapted by Jacqueline Rayner. So that's the basic logistics out of the way. Now, before I start on the story itself, and this isn't really affecting the story, but the cover art on this is rather disappointing. Actually, I'm going to point this out because when you buy the physical copy, of course, you buy it also for the cover art. So, as a release, the cover art is disappointing. It's not bad, but, given the great stuff that we had recently, around this time, and also more recently, Dark Eyes 4 cover and whatnot, the other novel adaptations covers are brilliant, but this just feels, it feels like it would have been good 10 years ago, but now, time's moved on, and this just feels lazy. And they took quite a while to release this, so I'm not sure if they suddenly forgot about it and then suddenly rushed through the cover. But there's just something that feels so simple and dull about it. I'm not sure why, but I feel like it could have been made so much better. But, it is what it is, and for what it is, it's okay, but given the quality of Big Finish covers recently, I feel they could have done so much better with this. It's rather disappointing, but anyway, of course you have the Chelonian on there, and also the Chelonian on, what's it called? The Well-Mannered War cover. The Chelonian on that looks far, far better than it does than the one on this. This one feels so simplistic, but anyway, I'm getting off track here. So yeah, the Chelonians, of course, are in this as their first appearance. They're quite big villains in the novels, and they've got some quite interesting things going on with them as a species and whatnot, and how their quest to wipe out the parasites, as they call them, the humans and whatnot. That's quite interesting. And the novel itself, well, that's not the novel itself, the release itself, it's very clever. There's loads of linking stuff, and I'm sure it's in the original novel as well. There's loads of little things that just make it feel very clever, and but not too clever for its own good. It's very smart, really. It's a very smart story. It bides its time well. gives you the reveals at the right moments and whatnot. It's very good on that part of things. However, some of those reveals I'm not too fond of, especially one of the big ones towards the end. I know it just feels cheapened a bit, and while it feels smart, it just feels like, oh, that's good, but I feel like the original idea was better. It's not kind of like a, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this reveal is amazing and whatnot. And while it does give you a totally new outlook on the story, and re-listening to it, you kind of like notice things you didn't notice before. But you know, it's just kind of like, it's one of those reveals that disappoints you on anything. A bit like the Master reveal at the end of Series 8. Well, at the end of Dark Water in Series 8, you know. Of course, some people have different opinions on that, and some people have different opinions on this. But you know, that's my thoughts on that, on some of the reveals. And also, it's a story that has a lot going on in it, and you know, that's good. You know, it keeps you very much interested. But it feels like the B plot was resolved second. Now, of course, I won't go into too much detail, but rather than having, you know, the subplot finally all tied up and it all comes down to the big plot, you know, it's very much something that happens, and it's very much something that you reach the end and you suddenly realise, oh, we still got this side of the story to go. Oh, okay. That side of the story just isn't as interesting, unfortunately. So it leaves it kind of like, rather than ending on a high note, it ends on a slightly lower note, I guess. You know, it's not a low note, but it's lower than the other note was, and that just leaves you more disappointed than you would have been otherwise with that conclusion. And also, you know, despite all the humour in this, and there is quite a lot, there is one line which was in the trailer, so it's not really spoiling it, where Sheldukher, that's it, he is a great villain, by the way. I'm not sure who plays him, like, no, I'm not sure who plays it. It's either Tom Bell or Daniel Rockbank. I don't know, I can't remember the name of it. I can't read the name of it here. But, you know, one of those two does a great job of Sheldukher, and the line, reports my breath has been greatly exaggerated, which he says to Professor Summerfield, it's just such a great line. And, you know, of course, some of the Doctor in the novels became rather manipulative and whatnot, and that comes across here. And you know, Bernice has a different outlook on these kind of like things from Mace. And this is my first proper thing with Bernice and whatnot. I haven't got any of her other audio releases, haven't read any of the books with her in. So this is my first proper story with her, and I really did like her. I think she's a great character, and she's got a lot of good lines in this. I thought she does kind of like get reduced to the stereotypical companion role, but for the second half. But for the first half, she gets divided from the Doctor, and you know, she doesn't mention him much at all. She's not kind of like whining on about, oh, I need to find the Doctor one. She follows her own path, and I think that's very nice. It shows kind of like independence rather than just, oh, I'm trying to get back to the Doctor, like a lot of companions would do in that situation. Here, she's kind of like showing some independence, and of course, she hasn't completely forgotten about the Doctor. She does want to get back to it, but she's not completely whining about that. She's trying to survive and whatnot, and put up with the character that she's with. And so, yeah, she's a very good character, I think, Bernice is, and she works very well alongside Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor. There's some interplay with them in the TARDIS at the start, which goes very well together. And also, she's not kind of like, when the Doctor does do something manipulative, she's just like, oh, of course you do something like this. It's not kind of like the reaction that Ace would give, where it's more screaming her head off. And while admittedly both reactions are interesting to watch, it's just nice to have different reactions. So moving on now to, already briefly went over Sheldukher, but he is a brilliant villain. So I'll just reiterate that he truly is. And you get some great lines, and also, interesting enough, there's not really much like fighting between the heroes and the villains as such. For a lot of time, like between the Doctor and Sheldukher, they're very much begrudgingly working together in a way. And that's quite interesting. Despite when the Doctor is Sheldukher's prisoner, they do kind of like, the Sheldukher does kind of like get along with the Doctor, and the Doctor puts up with Sheldukher, I guess. And you know, Sheldukher's kind of going, oh, I can tell we're going to have fun together, and all that nice stuff that villains do. So yeah, I think that Sheldukher is a great villain. There are also some other great supporting characters, but none stand out like Sheldukher does. So overall, I think, yeah, let's go to the overall rating now. I think I've said everything I want to say. Oh wait, no, one more thing. The Cell. The Cell is quite an interesting character, and you know, during the first half, I'll call it a she. The actress is a she, so I'm going to call it a she. It might be an it, who knows. But, you know, during the first half, it's very much benign and whatnot. But during the second half, it becomes a lot more active, and you know, it very much shows its hate, I think. So yeah, I won't go too much into detail about why and all that, but it is a rather interesting character, thing, whatever. Oddly enough, I didn't realise it was a brain in a jar. That's basically what it is. I didn't realise that throughout the story until it was actually properly said in about part 3 or something. It was said in part 1, but on my first listen I didn't pick up on that. I don't know what I imagined it to be, but yeah, you know, I kind of imagined it to be human, I guess. I'm not sure, but you know, later when it's not necessarily revealed, but that was only when I picked up on it. And you know, it's one of those things with audio. Maybe they should have made it clearer. Maybe I should have been paying more attention. But anyway, overall rating, Higher Science is amazing. Well, not amazing. I would say it is good. It is a good listen. And part 1 is available for free on bigfinish.com. So listen to that. If your interest is piqued, then I'd say, yeah, buy the release. Cover art could be better, but overall, you know, the story itself, I'd go 8 out of 10. The release itself, I'd go 7 out of 10 because of the cover. So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next time, I guess. Moonbase is up next. I'll see you then. Bye, everyone.